What's up, everybody? How we doing? A little Thursday morning for you, 6:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 29th. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to get back to the world of baseball. We've been talking about a lot of football lately, a lot of different interesting stories. Obviously, the Andrew Luck retirement just coming out of nowhere has really dominated the headlines, storylines, everything that there is to talk about in sports over the last couple of days. But we're going to dive back into baseball. And didn't wear the Yankee shirt on purpose, but as you guys know by now, I am Dave Ettinger, the host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast, and I am a Yankee fan, have been my entire life, and that's probably never ever, not probably, that will never ever change. So, listen, the Yankees have a different set of expectations than most teams. They expect to win. They expect to make the playoffs. They spend all the money that you could possibly spend in trying to get to the goal of winning a World Series. And listen, their pitching staff, their starting pitching staff may not be great. I might have screamed and complained and, bitched and moaned about how they didn't get a starting pitcher at the trade deadline and that they didn't really make any moves. But this team is 40 games over 500. They can't lose right now. They just beat up on the Mariners a couple times. It's hard to be down or be negative about the Yankees when they're this many games above 500. Now the Astros are a real concern, and there's other teams that are playing well, and I guess you need to be concerned about, but excuse me. Oh, boy. This is good for the podcast. Yawning means, means I'm real. I'm a real person. No edits, no changes, no nothing. We don't manipulate anything. We press record, we start talking, we stop recording, and that's it. Whether it's 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is you get of me, this is the Dave Talk Sports podcast. This is my favorite part about the whole thing. It's just real, and it's raw, and it's honest, and it's, again, unfiltered for the most part. And I try not to curse whenever possible. I talk as if my children are listening, which sometimes they are, and I always appreciate that. But anyway, back to the baseball world. How could you be negative about the Yankees? They just don't lose. They're obviously going to run away with their division. They're fighting for, and they have the same record as the Dodgers now, they're fighting for the best record in baseball to hopefully have home field advantage if they were to make it to the World Series. So, yes, the starting pitching is not great. It's inconsistent at best, I think is the way to put it. You get Tanaka one day, can get absolutely shelled in the first inning, and then he'll give you what he gave you in his last start. Excuse me, we're yawning again. Oh, boy. I am tired, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but, I'm tired every day, so it's not really new. We just deal with it. Tanaka gave you 7 scoreless innings the other night. So he's wildly inconsistent. He's been really good in the postseason and what we'd call big games, clutch games. So it's hard to be too worried about Tanaka. But it's the other guys. It's Happ, it's Paxton, it's okay. Domingo Germán has been very good, but what's going to happen if he has an innings limit? What's he going to be looking like? Is he going to be in the postseason rotation? It's an interesting conundrum they have here with Domingo Germán. Now the lineup still dealing with injuries, but look at the team as a whole. The offense is unbelievable. They put up runs in droves. Now it's Mike Ford putting up all sorts of numbers. Edwin Encarnacion will be back in the next week or so. Who knows with Giancarlo Stanton? I guess he's, taking BP and rehabbing, but who knows? Luis Severino supposedly coming back soon. So it's like the reinforcements are coming. So we'll see what this team looks like, in its entirety in 2 weeks. So we could be worried about the starting pitching, but you got to be in the postseason first, and then you never know. We'll see what happens. Now, to the other team, to the Mets. Well, we didn't even get to that fateful date that I thought it was going to be in September 18th, which is where this really rough stretch of games concludes. You got to play the Indians and the Cubs and the Dodgers and the Rockies, who are not that great, but, and then all your division rivals, the Nationals, the Phillies, the Braves. Didn't even get to this whole stretch yet, and it feels like the season's over. It's not. They can go on another run. It's definitely possible. They did it once. They could do it again. But the Mets have now lost 5 games in a row. Pete Alonso's still out there doing his thing. Other guys just having really good seasons. Ahmed Rosario, Conforto, J.D. Davis, McNeil, everyone, playing well. But at the end of the day, Noah Syndergaard is going to give up 10 runs. You're not going to win. DeGrom's still very good. Not what he was last year. Not even remotely close, but who could duplicate that? And all I heard for weeks and weeks and weeks was, well, let me enjoy this run. Let me enjoy all the wins and the victories. And, what else do I have as a Mets fan? Let me enjoy this. And this is not the I told you so speech, because that speech is coming. It is coming. It's not today, though. This is your season is like this far from being over. And I don't dislike the Mets. I really don't. I don't dislike the organization. I like these players. I don't think they have a good manager. I don't think they have a general manager who has any idea what he's doing. But I don't like Mets fans. Not everyone. Not every single one. For the majority of Mets fans, you guys are really annoying. You want to be Yankee fans because you want to have the sustained success. But at the same time, you hate the Yankees. Not only do you hate the Yankees more than you like your own team, and that drives me nuts. Be a fan of your own team. Be objective and real when you analyze your own team. Don't beat the Pirates and the Marlins and the Twins, who had a rough patch for a couple weeks, and then think that you're all of a sudden going to the World Series. That drives me freaking nuts. Like, you guys weren't even over 500 yet, and now you're barely over 500 right now. Because, like I said, but I've been saying for weeks and months, they're just not that good, and that's okay. It's okay. You're not a World Series level team. The Yankees might not be a World Series level team, and they're 40 games over 500. They may not have the starting pitching. They may have had too many injuries to deal with the Astros when they get there, if they get there. And that sucks, because the expectation is you're this many games over 500. You spend all this money, you have all these acquisitions, you have all these players, and you still can't win a World Series. That'll be disappointing. But without the starting pitching, they might not be able to get past the Astros. We'll see. Obviously, I hope for a different story. But just be able to look in the mirror and say, all right, Mets, New York Mets, let's go, Mets. This has been a fun season. A fun season where you found out that McNeil is a real player. Alonso is the real deal. Conforto been healthy and good. Rosario also been healthy and good. So take away what you can. You still need to build a bullpen. And you still are a couple pieces outside of that away. And you're just not good enough right now. But then that's okay. So enjoy what you had there for a stretch. And maybe you win some more games and hang in contention. You're only 4 games out of the wild card. But for now, not looking too good. Not looking too good. All right, everybody. Thursday morning. YouTube, Dave Talk Sports channel. Please subscribe. Leave some comments. It's Thursday. I'm really freaking tired. I'll explain that tomorrow. See you.